Podcasts on KYOK are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio,
Uh-oh.
its sponsors, staff, or management.
I got it backwards. How come I can't? How come I can't get it? All right. There. There. I got it.
You walk out on that field today.
Oh, man.
Ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. We ready. We ready. We ready. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it?
Valencia, we're doing a broadcaster Keep It Up with the Joneses challenge. You, me, David, Kelsey. I'm gonna try and get Carolina Hurt in it, Vashti Hurt, but I need your picks starting this week. Okay?
Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. It's too much pride from him. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. I'm proud of you still on the field, man. That's who I did. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go.
Let's get it. Let's see if we can pick them.
We ready. Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
No, this game is just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm actually excited about today's show because, man, we had some games this weekend. Watch this. In football, definitely in basketball, and even some of the baseball games were kind of dope with George Springer's inside the park home run. I mean, it was a pretty interesting weekend in sports, and I for one am very excited about it, man. I tell you what, which game yesterday really surprised you? Which game was your surprise yesterday? That's my question of the day. In any sport, which game over the weekend, I should say, was the most entertaining, your biggest surprise, what have you? And man, I tell you what, I loved it. I could go down the list, but last night's Seattle and New England game, I mean, really, all joking aside, there were no losers in that game. I know New England lost. I know it came down to the last play of the game, and Cam Newton and New England, they're probably not happy. They shouldn't be happy. I mean, you know, you find yourself in a situation like that, one play, 1 yard, you know, you got to get it. I'm telling you, man, I bet you if I'm Josh McDaniel right now, I'm kicking myself. You know, why didn't I run it further outside? Why didn't I do the one where, you know, it looked like Cam was going to run and you slip out a running back or a tight end? Hindsight is definitely 20/20 on that one, but I am not mad at New England and Cam for getting them down to that point with a chance to win it. It just didn't happen. And kudos to the Seattle defense to make that stop right there. That's what you call a goal line stance, and that's what championships are made of. Remember that Super Bowl a while ago, a couple of years ago, where I still can't believe Seattle didn't run the ball, didn't get the ball to Marshawn Lynch. I still can't believe they didn't get the ball to beast mode. You know, that's what New England did. They shut Seattle out on the goal line, last play of the game, ball game. They win. Ball game, they win. And actually, Seattle would have probably had another play if they had handed the ball to Marshawn Lynch and he didn't get it. They would have had a chance to hand it to him again. That's the crazy part about that one. But last night, man, that's That's good football. I enjoyed that game immensely. And then I know Texan fans, y'all are going to be mad when I say this, but how about them Cowboys? Oh, my gosh. How about them Cowboys? Monique Mosley, let's go Texans. We ain't talking about them right now. We ain't talking about the teams that just got the brakes beat off of them, that got dog walked, that got, who's your daddy? We ain't talking about those teams. We're talking about the teams that actually showed up, showed out, even if they lost. And the Dallas Cowboys looked like it was going to be a tough Monday. The Cowboys looked like they were going to have some splaining to do today. But I got to tell you, man, they came all the way back from 20 points down. And say what you want to say about Dak Prescott, what he is and what he isn't. But I got news for you. I've got news for you. Let me get to that box score. Hold on. Let me get to that box score. NFL, Cowboys, Atlanta. Yeah. Can I read you Dak Prescott's stats real quick? 34 for 47, 450. 450. That's 450 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no interception. Yes, he had the ugly fumble early. And all the dude did was bounce back. And I'm going to tell Cowboy fans out there, because, y'all can be kind of precocious and temperamental. Let me just quit playing with it. Y'all can be moody as, I love you. Y'all can be moody as they come. But if you're expecting a perfect player at quarterback, you never had one. You didn't have a perfect quarterback with Tony Romo. You definitely didn't have a perfect quarterback with Troy Aikman. I'm just talking about the good ones now. I ain't talking about all that trash y'all had in between. Y'all didn't have a perfect quarterback in Danny White. And I heard his call yesterday. And let me tell you something. Y'all going to be mad at me for saying this. Having old white guys try to explain the play of some of these, new, young, dynamic African-American players, it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. Because Danny White, for him to say that he knows that CeeDee Lamb probably never had to block at Oklahoma and therefore he doesn't know how to block now, is just an old white guy statement. It's just an old white guy, out of touch, dumb, ignorant statement. You can tell Danny White I said it. And I'm not disrespecting the man. I'm disrespecting the statement and the mentality that would make a statement like that. You know good and well that CeeDee Lamb blocked in college. You know good and well that Lincoln Riley and Bob Stoops taught him how to block in college. And to say that is just, again, I'll leave it alone. We're not going to talk about that stuff today. But you didn't have a perfect quarterback in Danny White. You didn't have a perfect quarterback in Roger Staubach. You didn't have a perfect quarterback with any quarterback that you had. What you had were very good quarterbacks, borderline great quarterbacks, who knew to bounce back after adversity, who knew how to keep your team in it with a chance to win it. And that's exactly what Dak Prescott did on yesterday, and y'all need to leave him alone. Either leave him alone or let him go. You got to see one play with Andy Dalton. He was 0 for 1, no yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, nothing. So if you are praying for, rooting for, thinking about, hoping for the Andy Dalton era in Dallas, I want you to have it. I want you to have it, because all Dak Prescott did was hold it together and chip away at that lead until he got his team in position to kick the game-winning field goal, and you know what? They did. I'm telling, man, Cowboy fans, y'all can be real temperamental. Y'all can be real moody. Y'all can be real something, man. I deal with y'all on a limited basis. I deal with y'all on there are very few rational Cowboy fans out there. And oh yeah, while I'm on it, before my first break, Texan fans are getting to be there too. Texan fans are getting to be there too. Where y'all are just irrational. If I hear one more time that Deshaun Watson is holding the ball too long, when you as a fan have no idea what the play that was called, what the assignments were, who did or did not run their route correctly, who did or did not hold their block correctly, who did or did not do what they're supposed to do, and try to keep putting all the blame on Deshaun Watson as if he's your problem. I'm telling you, I'm hoping that you get the A.J. McCarron era. I'm hoping some kind of way, without Deshaun getting hurt, you get a chance to experience A.J. McCarron as your full-time starter. There is a reason why A.J. McCarron has never been a starter in this league for an entire season. And you're about to find out if y'all keep on with this Deshaun Watson this and Deshaun Watson that. What about the head coach that called for the team to go for it on fourth down in his own territory again? What about the defense that could not stop the run, let alone a runny nose? But that's all Deshaun's fault because he holds the ball too long. All right, I got to take a break, man. I ain't fooling with y'all today. It's Media Monday. I came in on fire because there was some great sports this weekend. And if you want to get in as a Texan fan, 281-453-1000. If you want to get in as a Cowboy fan, 281-453-1000. If you want to get in as a fan of your favorite team, then you go on 281-453-1000. It is the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all new 92.3 FM. Again, I'm really excited about this day, man. I'm really excited about this day right here. Hold on, I gotta get a couple of commercials together. We'll go ahead and get those now right here on the lunch break.
We all know Election Day is just around the corner. We want change.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people that have been injured or wronged. Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market. If you've been diagnosed with cancer and you've taken Zantac or a generic equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses covered. And there's no upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me show right here on the legendary KYOK Radio 1140 AM and the all new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
You're having your lunch on the lunch break with KYOK.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, and I'm already seeing text messages coming in about my Danny White comments. AJ, you never played the game. Danny White did. How dare you? Yeah, I know. I never played on the professional level. So, yeah, you're right. But I still know when I hear garbage. It doesn't take an expert to do that. And the fact that some folks just accept comments like that over and over again, it's just time out for it. It's just time out for it. We have let stuff go on too long where folks literally shape the careers of players because of their subconscious biases. I'll leave it at that. And Danny White's statements were about as ill-informed as they come, and they went out to millions of people. So this one person out of the million is calling it out. Yes, sir, I sure am. Thank you, though. Appreciate you tuning in to the lunch break. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hey, Jay, how about them Cowboys, bro? It's Keith, man.
Man, Keith. And I'm telling you, I'm not a Cowboy fan. Does Jerry Jones still own the team?
Yeah,
then I'm not a Cowboys fan. But I got to give credit where credit is due, and they need to be trying to figure out Dak Prescott's contract right now. Even while they cannot negotiate it, they need to be putting some pen to paper.
No, I'm with you, man. And listen, let me just say amen to that statement that you just made in regards to Danny White. And because honestly, I didn't hear the statement, obviously, but certainly I've heard statements like that prior from other commentators about players that did, in fact, shape the careers or the after sports careers of players simply because of their subconscious bias. But I move on. Let me get to what I believe is another serious problem that both plagues the Cowboys as well as the Texans. And that is, and I'm going to just be honest, man, I am a real Cowboy fan, but I'm a realist in the sense that while I love my team, we got some issues. And the number one issue that we have is that we've got play callers that don't know how to make play or call plays for Dak. When you got that much talent around you, you cannot have a quarterback just – you got to get the ball into your playmaker's hands. And Dak is a playmaker. However, he doesn't have to hold the ball for 5 seconds. You got guys that all you got to do is hit them on a bubble screen. Let them go make some plays, man. Kellen Moore yesterday, his play calling was absolutely atrocious. Actually, the last 2 weeks, and he's a new play caller, and I get it, but I'm not cutting him no slack, bro. You knew what the deal was when you took this job, and if you can't handle the heat, then get out of the kitchen. And that's the way I feel about it. The same way I feel about the Texans play calling when it comes to Deshaun Watson. I love Deshaun Watson. I could care less about the Texans. But I'll be honest and tell you this, man. My concern for people like Dak and Deshaun Watson, if you take a look at their counterparts in Kansas City and Baltimore, and you see the difference in what those guys are able to do with the offenses that they have, and that is that you have coaches who are not stuck in their egos and trying to fit a round ball into a square hole by making players something. Let them play their game. Stop trying to force NFL protocol on them. Did you? I don't know if you paid attention. Well, maybe you have because you paid a little closer to the Texans. But the Texans, when Bill O'Brien started Deshaun Watson, he was refusing to start him in the first year over some other backup quarterback. Then he gets him in the game and he has to create an offense. When you drafted him, you should have created an offense that allowed him to play his game. So I don't know, man. It's just I'm excited about my Cowboys win, but we do have some issues we got to get fixed, including coaching and play calling. But I'll take the 1-1 versus the 0-2 start any day, man.
Man, let me chop up some of what you said there, Keith, because I just let you go because it's always good stuff, and you know what you're talking about. You're absolutely right. I'm going to throw out a couple of names that fit that mode that you were talking about. Kyle Shanahan. I'm not going to say he's not a good offense coordinator, but he is the epitome of what you were just talking about. He expects the players to fit his system, and he does not, well, maybe now he does realize that he's got to have his system fit the players that he has. And, again, Kyle Shanahan was one of those young guys that came up only because we knew his dad. That's the only reason why we know of Kyle Shanahan. Now, has he learned the game and learned the position since he's been around? Yeah, he has. But still, he got forced upon us. Bill O'Brien, same thing. Bill O'Brien expects his players to fit his system. He did it in Penn State. He's definitely done it since he's been here at Houston. But in New England, watch this, he had TB12. TB12 is a guy that can even take your trash and make it look like treasure. So, for Bill O'Brien to, now project that on Kelly, and Kelly is just really running Bill O'Brien's system, which is how he got the job. Bill O'Brien found a clone that would do exactly what he wanted done, and that's it. Now we see what we get. We see what we get. And Bill O'Brien was the one that put out there that Deshaun Watson was holding the ball too long. Translation, he is holding the ball too long in my system. Well, bruh, if your system is not working, thank God you've got someone who can improvise and make a play out of the trash that you're feeding him.
Yep. Real talk. You know what's interesting too, man? I find it interesting that if you take a look at what Bill O'Brien, the GM, has done in terms of basically stripping the team of its talent and not giving them any first round picks. The answer to what he has done is you take a look at DeAndre Hopkins in Arizona, and he's just setting the league on fire back-to-back weeks with the most catches in yards. I mean, the guy's killing it because he's showing you need a number one wide. You need talent around Deshaun Watson. He has zero talent. And I feel bad for the kid because I know everybody's going to come at his throat saying, well, he just signed this big contract. He should be able to do this, this, and this. No, football is an 11-man sport.
11-man sport, bro. It's 11 dudes on the field at the same time wearing the same jersey.
Yeah, man. So it's interesting, man. But like I said, I'm happy for my Cowboys. I'm excited to see what next week will hold, and hopefully we'll continue this win streak, man.
Well, wait. You do know you're going to Seattle next week, right?
And like I said, I'm excited. Notice I didn't say the team name, right?
Yeah.
I said I'm excited about this win streak. We just hoping that we can keep it up, man. Let me tell you, Seattle. The one thing I love that happened yesterday with Seattle, I don't want any players to get hurt, but Quandre Tiggs, my Longhorn, was kicked out of the game yesterday for a vicious hit. I don't know how many games, or I don't know if he'll be suspended for the game or what, but and then they lost their backup safety, so they had a third-string safety come in who played well. So, I mean, Pete Carroll's teams are always tough to beat, but we've got some work to do. But like I said, I'm excited, and hopefully we'll be able to we'll sneak out a victory this time.
Absolutely, man. Hey, appreciate you as always, Keith. Be safe out there.
All right. You too, bro.
All right, always a good call. Quandre Diggs from right here in this area. I think Quandre went to Alvin. Am I right? Went to Alvin High School. I know he was phenomenal in track and football. Went over to UT, balled out up there. And, again, unfortunately got kicked out of the game. Big hit yesterday. Man, and listen, I love what Keith said, reminding everybody that Bill O'Brien was the same guy that said that Tom Savage gave the team the best shot to win coming out of training camp and preseason. And then after one half of football, all of a sudden it was Deshaun Watson that gave the team a best shot to win and did not have an offense in place for Deshaun Watson. What did you do all preseason long? What did you do all training camp long? At no time did it dawn on you that you might have to put an offense in place for this guy. Hey, callers, I see y'all calling in. Y'all stay right there. Callers, stay right there. We're going to come to you all next, right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It's Media Monday. David Grubb going to be joining us in the second hour. So let's get all this kumbaya out of the way first. On the lunch break, Media Monday on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
Now is a great time to replace your worn-out windows during the Renewal by Andersen 25-year savings event. Upgrade your home today. Buy 4 windows and get the 5th one free. Plus, get 12 months with no interest, no money down, and no payments. Call now. Get 4 windows and get the 5th one free. Installation and warranty included. Renewal by Andersen takes every CDC-recommended safety precaution to protect your family. For 25 years, people have trusted us for their window replacement needs, and you can too. Call now to learn about our buy 4, get the 5th one free window replacement offer.
800-245-1537. 800-245-1537. 800-245-1537. That's 800-245-1537.
Interest accrues from date of purchase, but is waived if paid in full within 12 months. Other conditions apply. We've adjusted our operations to serve you safely following all CDC guidelines. Visit renewalbyandersen.com for details.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-961-2730. 800-961-2730. That's 800-961-2730.
It's the lunch break on KYOK.
All right, y'all, we're back on it on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It's Media Monday, and let me go back to the phone lines. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
AJ, it's Todd.
What's going on, Todd? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How was your weekend?
Man, outstanding, bro. With that Lakers game, with the Cowboys, with that New England-Seattle game last night. And I even got to give the Astros some love, man. George Springer with that inside the park home run, man. That was fun to watch, bro. That was fun to watch. How about yours? What stood out for you sports-wise this weekend?
My Patriots in great shape.
Man, very good shape.
Bro, all that talk on social media that the Patriots are done, no, they're not. That squad they got is nice. I love what I've seen from the first two games. The narrative at the first game against the Dolphins was the Dolphins are bad, which I don't totally agree with that because they could have beat the Bills yesterday.
Yeah, I had them in the upset, and unfortunately, hey, man, I got to give Josh Allen some love, bro. Dude balled out over 400 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, made some decent plays with his leg, and led his team to the win, and Miami gave it all they could. So, you know what? Both those teams get some credit from me.
Once Miami can get a good quarterback in there, I don't know if Tua is the answer or not because we haven't seen him play yet. Man, that franchise is going to take off because Flores is building it the right way.
Yeah.
I love what he's doing. I mean, he's taking what he's got. Those guys compete. Like I said, you know, the Bills are arguably the best team, with them and Patriots in that division. But, man, my Patriots, with all those guys that are sitting out due to COVID, Hightower, Chung, whole bunch of dudes that are not playing, they look good.
Man, I'm going to tell you, once again, Bill Belichick and those assistant coaches. Is his son the defensive coordinator right now?
Yeah, with Bill, he's weird about it because remember when Flores was there, he would never give
the title, right?
No, from what I understand, is his son is calling the plays, but Bill is right there listening to everything. So I don't know how much Bill is chiming in on certain situations, but from what I understand, yeah, he's doing most of the play calling.
Yeah, we got a cutaway yesterday when they were talking about the Patriots defense, and they showed Belichick's son. I was like, oh man, I hope we don't have another Kyle Shanahan situation going on over here. But that aside, I like the situation the Patriots in. I'm not ready to concede the AFC East to Buffalo. I'm not, because again, if anybody can pull it out with what they have, New England.
Man, Cam looks amazing to me. The defense on the Patriots is better than I thought it would be. And people could say, well, how could you say that Russell Wilson threw 5 touchdowns? But I think Russell Wilson is going to do that to a lot of people.
A lot of teams, yeah, a lot of teams.
The fact that is at the end of the game, the Patriots were a goal line play away from winning the game.
One play, 12 inches.
And going into the year, like I said, when I was looking at social media, people are like, this is over, Patriots aren't winning the Super Bowl. But it really kind of shows you with Bill Belichick, it's that system he has in place. And I really believe, man, I don't think you could drop down to Brian Hoyer or something like that, get the same production, obviously. But what amazes me in the guys on defense, outside of McCourty, most of those dudes on defense are no-name guys.
Right. Let me just say this. They won 11 games with Matt Castle. We didn't know who Matt Castle was before they won 11 games with him. So I'm not saying they could do it with Brian Hoyer. I'm saying we don't know. But Cam Newton has showed that he's still got a lot because he's doing it all. He's doing it with his arm, he's doing it with his legs, and he's doing it with his head. So I like what I see out of New England right now. And that's why I say there is no way in the world I'm going to just concede the AFC East to anybody as long as New England's looking like they're looking.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle. When the Bills and the Patriots lock up, that's going to be a battle. The Bills are tough. The Bills are tough. I still don't trust Allen a little bit, crunch situations with that arm. You got a cannon, but sometimes it's a loose cannon. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, you're right. And let me say this, too. New England showed that they could step on the field with a legitimate Super Bowl contender and go toe-to-toe. The Texans have not shown that. They stepped on the field, Kansas City. They didn't go toe-to-toe. They stepped on the field with Baltimore. They didn't go toe-to-toe. They got Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh next week. I don't know if they can go toe-to-toe. And that's where people have to realize that just because you like certain guys and you think that they were good picks, let me run down this real quick. DeAndre Hopkins, most catches by an NFL player in the first 2 weeks. Most yards by an NFL player first 2 weeks. Oh, and he's 2-0. Jadeveon Clowney, 2-0. Tyrann Mathieu, 2-0. So while they keep trying to say they're better, you got a lot of guys that were here that are 2-0.
I think the problem what Bill O'Brien is trying to do is, and I've seen coaches that leave the Greg Popovich tree, right? They go off and leave, and they never have the same success, right? Somehow, some way, I don't know how he does it, Bill Belichick that is, he's able to take dudes off the street we've never heard of. They've been on like 5 or 6 teams, AJ, right? And he'll plug them in, and they see success. And then when they leave, you don't really hear of them again, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it, but tying in Bill O'Brien, he's trying to have that same model. And my best guess is it's kind of similar to what Chip Kelly did. Remember when Chip Kelly got rid of LaShawn McCoy?
Yep.
He got rid of Deshaun Jackson.
Yep.
He got rid of all these guys. And without him saying it, what he was basically trying to say was he felt those guys were me guys, right?
Yep.
And he wanted to bring in quote-unquote we guys or team guys. But that Bill Belichick model, man, it's unique. And you can't – most coaches need a ton of talent. And all those guys you reeled off are former Texans, right?
Yep.
Eventually you lose all that talent. Clowney, Tyrann, Hopkins. I mean, that's a lot of people to replace. So it's a unique model where in New England, somehow that works. You're never going to see Bill Belichick give a defensive end. Remember Chandler Jones, right?
Right.
He sent him off. He goes, I'm not paying that.
Yep.
There's just certain positions he's not going to do it. But other coaches got to realize, for some reason, I just cannot replicate
that. And that's the thing, Todd, that I know that Bill O'Brien is trying to replicate what he saw in New England. But, dude, I can see somebody do surgery. That doesn't make me a transplant surgeon. So, again, the Texans have – put in perspective. Dan Quinn is on the hot seat. Been on the hot seat for the last couple of years in Atlanta. Dan Quinn has been to a Super Bowl where he led 28-3, and he's on the hot seat. Bill O'Brien couldn't hold on to a lead in a doggone playoff game, and the dude got promoted to general manager, to head of football operations, to second in command to Cal McNair. And he's not on the hot seat? That's crazy, man. I don't care what he saw in New England, man. It's time for people in Houston to stop buying this bull and drinking the punch and realize that the guy you got is not the guy you need.
What was the Rams former coach name that ran Vince off?
I'll never say his name, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
Well, he's starting to remind, when he was with the Rams, he got a whole bunch of power, right?
Yep.
And it's starting to remind me a little bit of that.
And they were talking about bringing him back in the league last season. The dude's doing commercials right now as if he's somebody great, man. And I'm just telling you again, the dude has won a grand total of nothing and got the ability to not remember now. He ran off Nick Foles. He was about to run off Jared Goff before they ran him off.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, man, he had Jared Goff looking like straight trash.
I'm just telling you. And Nick Foles went on to win a Super Bowl. This dude is out of the league. And again, I know exactly his name, but I'll never speak it because he just it's like that dude yesterday. It just doesn't exist to me. And you can say whatever you want to say. You might even be right every now and then. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. A broke clock is right twice a year. But you don't exist to me. You're nothing. So yeah, that's who he is. That's who he is. And he almost did cost Vince's career. He jeopardized Nick Foles' career and was about to do the same thing to Jared Goff.
So let's get on these Cowboys. They're in trouble, and I'm not overreacting just to one game, right?
Yeah, their secondary is a problem, and they've got to fix that. And I said that going into the year that the Cowboys underestimated the value of Byron Jones. They underestimated the value of what Byron Jones covered up for, even when he wasn't guarding his own man, when he was helping out, when he was coming over to clean stuff up. You don't have that in that secondary, and they got ate up by Matt Ryan and Atlanta. And oh yeah, by the way, Matt Ryan and Atlanta couldn't close it out, but there are other teams out there that can.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. If you're a Cowboy fan, you know you should be 0-2, right? It took one of the most, inept special teams plays I'd ever seen.
Oh
right?
My God!
I mean, AJ, it looked like they had a brain freeze for a minute, and they thought it was a punt.
I called it a brain fart. They sat there and they watched that ball be recovered by the Cowboys. And whoever the special teams coach is, honestly, should be fired or fined, because there's no way in the world you send your special teams hands team out there and they don't know that if you can catch it off the guy's foot, as soon as he kicks it, you pop it out of the air, you can do that. If you get it at 4 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 1 yard, you can get it as soon as you can get it.
Because like on a punt, when the punt returner gets away from it, when he's like, I can't make that catch.
Yep.
I'm going to steer away. He yells Peter, and everyone kind of stays away from it.
Yep.
That's how it looked like. All those guys, 3 or 4 guys, were like watching the ball.
Inexcusable.
Like it was a punt that was about once the ball stopped, the ref was just going to blow the whistle.
Yep.
And the Falcons were getting it. So if you're a Cowboy fan, sometimes a win can in a lot of ways, be a loss. So they won the game in the win column. But man, there's the 2 drastic things I'd be concerned about is you were at home. Even though there's, really no home field advantage now, but how do you come out that flat? You already lost in week 1, right?
Yeah.
That's my biggest concern. And then number 2, you're right. That secondary, let's not forget Julio Jones dropped that touchdown pass in the end zone.
Yep.
I mean, so what? You gave up. If you would have caught that, you gave up 46 points.
Yep.
To a bad. Well, let's be honest. That's a bad Falcons team.
Yep.
And now you're about to go to Seattle,
yep.
where Russell Wilson is, in my opinion, the best quarterback right now.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. No, again, man, and I want to be fair, and I want to give every team at least 3, maybe 4 weeks. I know Texan fans. It's our first 2 weeks of the season. We had the toughest schedule. Look, either you bout that life or you're not. And the Cowboys, maybe they could have won week 1 if that call didn't go against them. That's true. They should have lost week 2. They didn't. There's some credit in that. We'll see what they do from here. If they go up and get blown out by Seattle, Todd, it's going to be a long year. It's going to be a long year.
And Mike McCarthy, I don't know if people remember this, at the end of his Packers run, his offenses were very vanilla, very basic.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the arrangement was, because they brought him in and they kept Kellen Moore. So I'm wondering if Jerry pulled one of those. We'll bring you in, but we're going to keep the offense that Dak is comfortable in. I'd rather see some of Mike McCarthy's offense, because Dallas hadn't seen it before. Dallas, he may have made some wrinkles and made some adjustments during his off time, talking about McCarthy, when he was out of work. So I'm willing to give him a chance. I'm not ready for him to go. I hope they don't pull one of those Arizona deals. And by the way, Cliff Kingsbury is looking like he's got it figured out, which I hate, but anyway, Todd, I got another caller. Let me get to them, and I appreciate you as always, man.
All right, man. Thanks, AJ.
All right. Let's see. Great call with Todd as always. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hey, it's Keith Hennig.
Keith Hennig, caller of the year 2020. What's up, bro?
Well, I got a laundry list, and Todd covered a lot of it. First, from one old white guy to another, Danny White is a disgrace to old white guys.
Man, again, there were a few comments during his call that I was like, wow, maybe a few years ago I would have been like, oh, yeah, he might be right. But dead wrong. And again, probably a subconscious bias, but it's there. It's absolutely there.
Clearly. And, the poor guy doesn't belong in public, period. As far as the Cowboy game goes, the Cowboys did get the W, but they didn't win that game. Atlanta just handed them the gift. And I have never seen social distancing like I saw on that onside kick anywhere. That special teams coach needs to be packing his boxes today. That was the most pathetic professional football I have seen in a long time by the Atlanta Falcons. And they're a pretty good team. They are a good team. They just get those brain farts that you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what it is under Dan Quinn where they just cannot close a team out. But, at some point, somebody's got to pay for that. If I'm him, I'm chewing out the special teams coach. I'm also chewing out my defense coordinator, and I'm chewing myself out for whatever I didn't do or needed to do and didn't get done. He's probably going to lose his job. But I also got to look at Julio Jones. If Julio Jones is not healthy, he's got to come out because the plays that he didn't make cost them. The plays that he made helped, but the plays that he didn't make cost them. And I'm willing to go with he's not healthy. But I blame the offensive coordinator for Julio not scoring as much as he should have with his size in the red zone and just period. I don't know. Julio Jones has got to fight for more to get in that end zone than he's been doing. It might be mental at this point, but Atlanta's a team, a franchise in some kind of trouble.
I agree. I totally agree. And for them to choke away another game, if I was a fan of the Falcons, I would be screaming for Dan Quinn's head and his staff as well.
Yeah, you got if they make a change from Quinn, they got a clean house. They got a clean house.
I saw a little bit of the Texans game, and boy, they need a coach, man. They need a coach. Bill O'Brien needs to go back to Penn State and order his college kids around. And Garrett Jones would work well in his other position. The guy is just pathetic. And I'm sorry, Texas fans. You're going to finish behind the Jaguars this year if this keeps up.
Man, which would be scary because right now everybody's talking about, the Texans can't run with those top flight teams. Question is, who can they run with in their own conference? Jacksonville, yeah, but hey, Indianapolis bounced back yesterday, and Tennessee, got another win. So,
right.
It might be what the experts said. I know it's early. I'm not burying them yet, but you've seen 7 years of this with Bill O'Brien. What makes you think that they are going to all of a sudden figure it out? That's my thing. After 7 years, what you see is about what you're going to get from Bill O'Brien as a head coach. And oh yeah, by the way, he's got GM responsibilities and front office responsibility. I mean, he's dealing with stuff that most coaches, couldn't care less about. And he's got his hands in that. He hadn't earned it, and I don't think he can do it well.
Why is that man a general manager?
No.
You mentioned all the guys that he cut loose, and they're having success.
And mind you, not only did he cut these guys loose, but he overpaid for their replacements. He got little back in value from those guys, and he's overpaid almost every deal he's negotiated since being the GM.
Well, you're absolutely right. He has no business being a GM, and I don't think he has any business being an NFL coach.
Well, I mean, like I said, we've seen him do it with TB12, but we haven't seen him do it with anybody else.
Well, speaking of TB12, he got a win yesterday.
Yay.
He was underwhelming.
Yeah, well.
Very underwhelming.
Leonard Fournette, baby. Leonard Fournette.
I'll tell you what, when that man learns the playbook, watch out for Leonard Fournette. He is going to be dynamic in Tampa.
Yeah, I was glad to see them commit to him. Before, they were kind of fooling around with Jones and what have you, but they started feeding Fournette a little bit, and he paid off for him, man. I was really glad to see 2 touchdowns, had that big long run. I was like, come on, Leonard, show him, baby, show him.
Oh, he's gonna be a big time player down there, and I'm really happy for him. But I think that Tom Brady is pretty much done, don't you?
I'm not ready yet. Let me see how he's doing after week 4. Give me 4 weeks to view Brady down there in the new system, new building, new players and everything, and then I can tell you from there.
Well, look at the last half dozen games as a Patriot.
Yeah, I know.
His first couple games as a Buck.
But we don't know if he was mentally bought out in those last couple of games up there. Like he'd already kind of made up his mind this was, done. So that's why I say give me a couple of more weeks and I'll tell you.
Okay. Enjoy your show.
Keith Hennick, caller of the year 2020. The box came. I just can't get to it. So I got
good.
it. Yeah, thank you,
All
Keith.
right. Good to hear. Talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Keith Hennick, caller of the year 2020. Always a good call. Let me take another break right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is Media Monday.
I'm going to tell you how you can get real health insurance for as little as $6 a day. Yes, now you can get affordable health insurance for you and your family immediately, starting at just $6 a day. And coverage is guaranteed regardless of your medical condition. That's right, for about $6 a day, you can have guaranteed health insurance. And there's dental, vision, and prescription coverage too. You owe it to yourself and your family to make this free call right now and learn more. There are no deductibles, no waiting period, no contracts, and coverage is guaranteed. Call National Health right now for your risk-free guaranteed health insurance quote starting at just $6 a day. Call now.
800-797-0921. 800-797-0921. 800-797-0921. That's 800-797-0921. Paid for by GoHealth.
You're home. You're a diabetic. You need supplies, but you don't want to visit the pharmacy. What do? Call US Med for home delivery of your supplies. If you have diabetes and you're worried about going to a crowded pharmacy, pick up the phone in the safety and comfort of your home and let US Med deliver them to you with free shipping. And now if you test your blood sugar 4 more times a day and inject insulin 3 or more times a day, you may qualify to get a new continuous glucose monitor at little or no cost, which may eliminate the pain of pricking your fingers and helps you make smarter diabetes decisions. Plus, we'll send you a 90-day supply and bill your insurance company for you. Get some peace of mind. Call US Med today.
800-417-0851. 800-417-0851. That's 800-417-0851.
The lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
All right, y'all. We back here in it on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Media Monday. And, again, a lot of good games in the NFL. Let me run down the scores real quick. As we've been talking about, Dallas came all the way back from 20 down to beat Atlanta 40-39. And, it was – what a game. What a game. Indianapolis, the Colts bounced back and beat Minnesota. I'm really wondering about Minnesota. What's interesting is Minnesota and the Cowboys both traded away number 1 wide receivers, like true number ones, and both of them are 0-2. Both of them are 0-2. Phillip Rivers, again, another interception. That's 3 on the season. We played 2 games. Before we start, crowning him as the second coming, he wasn't impressive. 19 for 25, 214 yards, touchdown, interception, got sacked twice. It was the young man out of Wisconsin that saved the day. Jonathan Taylor ran for 101 yards and a touchdown. In fact, they ran the ball very well. 40 carries for 151 yards. And then, man, who is this Mo Alley Cox? Who is this Mo Alley Cox? Mo Alley Cox is about to make my all-time hyphenated list. You ever put together an all-time hyphenated players? Mo Alley Cox might be on it. 5 catches, 111 yards, average 22 yards a catch. That's what's up. T.Y. Hilton only caught 3 balls for 28. Have they introduced T.Y. Hilton to Phillip Rivers? Does he even know who T.Y. Hilton is? Might want to find out. And again, Minnesota in trouble. I gotta get the box score for your boy. You like that? No. He was 11 for 26, 113 yards, no touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. That was the entire box score, game production from Kirk Cousins. But he had the nerve to talk about a man while he was on his way out the door. Man, let me tell you something. Kirk Cousins, you might need to put on a mask. You might need to wear it. You might need to social distance. but you also might need to close your mouth when it comes to other people's business, because your football business ain't looking real good right now. Bottom line. And what's crazy, out of all the games that the Texans have to play in that first 4 weeks, this was one that was pretty much a loss. That might be the Texans' best shot. They might come out of these first 4 weeks 1-3 thanks to Minnesota. If I'm Minnesota, who's the backup? Who's the backup in Minnesota? Let me go. Let me look at the roster. Quarterbacks for Minnesota. Hold on. Let me do this. I know folks are like, oh, I know you're not talking about putting in the backup quarterback. Yeah, I am. Why aren't you? Sean Mannion. Yeah, stick with Kirk Cousins. Stick with Kirk Cousins. Sean Mannion? Oh, God. Hello, you're live in the lunch break. Who's this?
AJ, Cowboy Craig. How you doing?
Man, how about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys, man? Man, I tell you, they played a heck of a game, but I got this to say. If they don't protect that football better than they're doing, it's going to be a long season. I had said if they wouldn't pull this one out, we was going to be 0-3, start the season off, because they got their hands full next week. You know who's coming to town, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
In fact, they go up there. The Cowboys go up to Seattle.
Yeah, and I was hoping that Cam Newton them kind of softened them up a little bit, but you know they did the best they could.
Yeah, no, and again, I think New England's better than people are giving them credit for, but it'll be a real test for the Cowboys to find out if they are legit or not, if they can go on the road. They don't have to face those fans and the noise like they would have if it was a regular season, but you know, they got to go up and win that game. They got to go up and win that game.
Yeah. They have to. It's a must-win. And they got to play football. They got to protect the football and play football.
Yeah, their defense and their secondary is not good enough for them to be turning the ball over as much as they did against a team like Seattle. Now, we're not talking about Atlanta. We're talking about Seattle.
Uh-huh.
Cowboy Craig?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
What do you think about the Texans, man? Be an outside analyst about the Texans. What are they doing, or what do they need to do?
Yes, sir. What they need to do is get some heart.
Oh.
Get some heart, man.
Oh.
I mean, they need to get some heart and some cojones, brother.
Oh.
I mean, I'm just being real, man.
Oh.
You know, we talked about the dog, man. We need a dog in every sports in Houston. We need that dog, man. We need somebody that's going to slap some heads. You know, you played ball before. You know what happens when you don't do what you're supposed to do. The secondary is suspect. How can somebody be that wide open and you know that, you know, you're trying to stop them? And they're too soft, too goody two-shoes. It's not a football team. It's a country club.
Yeah, no, that's got to change, man. That's got to change. And Bill O'Brien's got to – it starts with him. I used to say it starts with the owner, but I don't even know if Cal McNair – I'll be polite. But Bill O'Brien he's the man. It's on him. And I don't want to hear about coronavirus and no preseason games and training camp was different. Everybody's dealing with the exact same conditions. If Bill O'Brien doesn't get it done this year, if they bring him back after this, baby, you can have everything that you get. Whatever you get, you deserve.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Listen, they got to come out and play, man, because they got some winnable games coming up. I mean, and
Pittsburgh ain't one of them. Pittsburgh ain't one. Pittsburgh's defense is probably the best defense that the Texans will see to date. It's better than Baltimore's. It's definitely better than Kansas City's. And if they had problems with Kansas City and Baltimore's defense, well, guess what? This one coming in here, or that they got to go play against next week, ain't no joke.
Well, they better get it together. They better get it together quick, else you know how us Houston fans are.
Yeah, man,
They're gonna start rumbling. They're gonna start making noise. They're gonna ask for the team to be run out of town.
Yep.
You know how they get.
Yep.
You know, but, hey, just hang in there, and hopefully they'll get the ship, man. You know, headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
If not, I would just clean house and start over.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
And some players included. Some players gotta go.
Cowboy Craig, you tough on them, bro. You tough on them today.
Listen, man. Somebody said this to me, and I got to thinking about it, and I'm gonna ask you this question. athlete that comes to Houston, they pick their feet up. They get their big payday and they don't produce. And then once they leave Houston, they go because I believe it's the culture here. I love my city. I believe it's the culture. They don't hold them accountable because I'm such and such. You're supposed to pay me homage or give this. No. What have you done for me lately? Earn your respect and you'll get it.
Yeah, no, I'm going to agree with that. I'm going to agree with that, Craig. Brother, you have a great rest of your day, man. We'll talk again soon, all right?
Okay, my brother. Y'all be blessed.
All right, you too. Always a good call with Cowboy Craig, man, right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Let's see. Got some folks texting me. I'm responding back to one of the Danny White comments. Let's see. Hold on. Let me send this because dude got out of pocket, and I'm trying to send him some blessings. AJ, it blows my mind when commentators think that they have the ability to second guess folks who actually played the game. I will just tell you this. I don't think myself better than anybody else. I never have, but I also don't think less of myself, if you understand what I'm saying. I got a very, very healthy self-esteem. Like I'm no less than you, and you're no greater than me, but I'm pretty good at what I do, and I know what I know. And I also know that Danny White's comment, you know, I will even give him that one comment, but there were several in his call, and I listened to it as I was driving. Danny White's comments are the kind of comments that are typical. Keyshawn Johnson said it best when they were talking about Lamar Jackson coming out. Everybody was talking about Lamar being a runner and whether his style could translate to the NFL. And Keyshawn said, hold up. We're the ones that are putting Lamar's style out there. Where was the picture, the videos of all of his passes at Louisville? Lamar Jackson didn't send us his video reel. We put the video reel together to shape a narrative, and it's not a true one. And that's what Danny White's comments were. It's like the comments from Bill O'Brien that Deshaun holds the ball too long. And what are people saying over and over again? Oh, Deshaun holds the ball too long. Deshaun holds the ball too long. The reality is there are people that make subconscious and specific comments knowing that they will shape a narrative. And that's what Danny White did. And I'm sorry that you don't understand it. It has nothing to do with me playing the game. Look, there's a whole lot of things I've never done, but I can look at other things and say, well, that's wrong right there. So if you don't understand that, then again, I bless you. I thank God for you. I pray you have a blessed rest of your day. So anyway, I had to get to that because some of these folks are coming a little too strong at me about this stuff. And y'all know me now. I'm trying to stay saved, but I also know how to speak from the south side of the kingdom. I'm bilingual, baby. What's that song? Try Jesus, but don't try me, because I throw hands. All right. I'm just saying. All right. I'm trying to get Sybil Wilkes queued up right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know today about the coronavirus. In another reversal, the CDC has changed its guidance on who should be tested for the coronavirus, encouraging asymptomatic people who have come in contact with an infected person to get tested and self-quarantine for 14 days. Last month, guidance said those who did not experience symptoms should not be tested. According to a report by the New York Times, the guidance posted on the CDC website last month was without approval from scientists at the CDC. In an effort to curb the spread of the coronavirus, an increasing number of colleges and universities are canceling spring break as concerns about travel during the pandemic continue. Researchers report that stress and depression, which have risen in the U.S., have increased as coronavirus cases have climbed. The study showed that conflicting messages on news and social media may have worsened people's stress. Please visit SybilWilkes.com to subscribe to my free daily newsletter. Be informed, be empowered.
You're listening to The Lunch Break on KYOK.
All right, y'all, about to get out of this first hour of the lunch break. David Grubb should be joining us at some point in the second hour. Let me finish up a couple of these scores real quick. Tennessee held on to beat Jacksonville 33-30. Again, Jacksonville better than we thought. Tennessee 2-0. Of course, Baltimore beat Houston 33-16. Green Bay, that's the team that everybody needs to watch, is beat Detroit 42-21. Buffalo held on to beat Miami 31-28. San Francisco all over the Jets 31-13. And the Rams beat Philly 37-19. Also, Pittsburgh beat Denver 26-21. Tampa Bay beat Carolina 31-17. The Bears beat the Giants 17-13. Hang on, I'll be right back.
And 92.3 FM, K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers, who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
When you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We made it! We made it! We made it! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We made it. And let's go to the house. And let's go to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how are we the Miami Heat of football? Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. It's too much crying from him. He's a man. They can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's who I did.
Video it. Let us see it.
When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it?
I want to see the video of that.
Game time.
Lady CJ.
Let's go.
Let's go. Bye. Let's go.
We made it. And let's go to the house. And let's go to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
All right, y'all. That is the first hour on the books. Second hour underway right here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Media Monday. Great games this weekend. The Texans are 0-2 on the young season after losing 33-16 to Baltimore. They've been outscored this season 67-36, and they go to Pittsburgh Sunday. At noon. So, hey, it don't get no easier. Cowboys came back all the way from a 20-point deficit to beat Atlanta 40-39, thanks to a brain fart by the hands team of the Atlanta Falcons on an onside kick and then a 46-yard field goal as time expired. They got the win. They will go to Seattle Sunday at 3:25. Speaking of Seattle, what a win last night when they beat New England 35-30, thanks to a goal line stand on Sunday Night Football. Tonight, you got the Saints visiting the Raiders. That'll kick off at 7:15 Central on Monday Night Football. And then, what about Anthony Davis? Anthony! He hit a three-pointer that was a deep three-pointer. It was not close to the line, and hit it at the buzzer to give the Lakers a 105-103 win over Denver in the Western Conference Finals. Lakers are now up 2-0. And then, of course, over the weekend, Boston beat Miami 117-106. They still trail in that series 2-1. The Astros got an inside-the-park home runner by George Springer in their 3-2 win over Arizona. The Astros will visit the Mariners tonight at 8:10. The Rangers beat the Angels 7-2. Same two teams this afternoon at 3:10. And then the Roadrunners of UT San Antonio beat Stephen F. Austin 24-10. Had some high school games, but there's another college game I want to look at real quick because it has a Houston connection to it. Let me go to that. Let me go back here. Back up. There we go. And that game that I was talking about, where is it? There it is. Miami beat Louisville. Number 17 ranked Miami beat number 18 Louisville. And the quarterback for Miami, D'Eriq King, 18 for 30, 325 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. U of H, you chose wrong. U of H, you chose wrong. You gambled and you lost. D'Eriq King should be right there off of Scott Street, balling. But no, you brought in some kind of coach, and he came in with his weird self, and he came up with a weird game plan, and then he tried to insert the quarterback of his choice, and guess what? D'Eriq King is legit and led Miami to a win. Led Miami to a win over a top 20 ranked team. We'll see how many of those U of H gets this year. I'm sorry. I'm just calling it what it is. I'm just calling it what it is. I was at Tulane when Wally English came in, and instead of playing the quarterback who should have been playing, he tried to insert his son. And guess what? His son led us to absolutely nothing. Led us to absolutely nothing. You know who they sat down for John English? Wally English sat down for John English. Bubby Brister. How did Bubby Brister's career go? Oh, I don't know. He went on to Pittsburgh to play for the Steelers and got some very nice wins. Where is John English? Won't somebody help me, please, and tell me where John and Wally English are now? It's the same thing with who U of H brought in. They brought in a guy just because he had a little bit of success at West Virginia. They let him talk U of H's star recruit from Houston out of a job, and now the kid's down there balling out in Miami, and U of H, it remains to be seen what they're going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the man who goes harder to the paint than I ever can is none other than David Grubb. What's up, bro?
What's happening?
Man, I'm just getting it in, bro. I'm calling them out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm calling them out. I got to
You were ready already, so I said, let me just hang back, try to assess the situation, and see what we got going on over here. Cause
Yeah, man. I had to go back to my old Tulane days, man. When
where did he go? What? He went 5-17 in Tulane in 2 years,
bro. But they let him make major decisions, like Bubby, we got no spot for you, and then he puts in his son, John English. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, Tulane has made a number of bad football decisions over the years. But you go all the way back to them leaving the SEC. It may have been the worst decision in the history of college football. That program suffered from leaving a conference more than Tulane did.
That one gets so overlooked. That is one of the worst collegiate decisions ever. I mean, it's up there. It's might be top 2, but it's definitely top 5.
People need to remember this. Tulane still, to this day, has more SEC championships than University of Mississippi, than Mississippi State, than Vanderbilt, than South Carolina. Tulane was a power in the SEC at one point, and they made the decision that the SEC was beneath them, essentially. It was a bunch of public schools. They were a private school, and they said, we're out.
That's why I love having you on the show, man, because you know the real about the real, and you just bring it. David Grubb, host of Hard in the Paint, writer for CrescentCitySports.com. What's going on, bro? How'd it go with the podcast today?
I'm recording it after this, actually, because of my guest. So we're going to get into the wild weekend that was across sports. You know, you got baseball teams clinching. Now with the Big Ten coming back and starting play this weekend. This all is just very, college football, which I still have a problem watching. It's hard for me to watch college football, but of course, this doesn't stop the season from going on. And then, yesterday's NFL, and then you got the NBA, which is yesterday's game, of course, was just fantastic and just a surprising ending. So there's a lot to discuss right now.
Yeah, absolutely, man. In fact, let me do this. Let me go ahead and get our first break in. And then I want to chop that up because I definitely want to talk about that NFL play NBA game on yesterday. And then let's get into some of these NFL games. And then, of course, there's a very good one tonight with the Saints and the Raiders. And
how are you wearing a Texans shirt?
I'm rubbing it in. I'm rubbing it in.
All right.
You know me. There's always a method to my madness, and you may be test it online. I'm rubbing it in. I'll be right back.
My head. With that dog look.
I'll be right back with David Grubb, host of Hard to Paint, next, right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. Uh-oh.
So I think this article I'm about to finish is going to get me in trouble.
Oh, Lord. I can't
Hi, I'm Larry Scott.
I'm writing about David Griffin.
Join me
and how look, his record is not as clean as people want to make it out to be.
Our world today.
And we need to be real careful about the decisions that he's about to make. Because y'all got all the scapegoats are gone now.
From 1 to 2 p.m.
That's what I'm saying about Bill O'Brien. You ain't no more scapegoats now.
On the legendary.
And I mean, you look at David Griffin's record. Everything he did in Cleveland was basically given to him by LeBron James. If you don't get a fully formed LeBron James coming off of 4 finals and 2 championships in Miami, David Griffin, we ain't hearing about him right now.
One of the millions who have taken
If LeBron does not make that decision, and that was his decision, that was independent of anything the Cavs even thought.
DA said it detected.
They didn't recruit him. He recruited them. He said, I'm coming back if you do A, B, C.
I'm coming home.
If you do A, B, and C, I'll be there. And so what they were going to do, A, B, and C. So you give him that credit, but then after that, dude, you signed Kendrick Perkins. You gave J.R. Smith an extension. You gave Tristan Thompson $20 million a year. You gave Matthew Dellavedova a multi-year contract. You were giving out garbage deals left and right. So I'm still kind of concerned that this dude is in charge. I'm not sold on him.
Stay right there, man. I'm coming to you right next. That's good talk right there.
That's that white savior stuff, man.
16.
Hey guys, this is your girl Brandy Nelson, and you are listening to The Lunch Break on KYOK.
Thank you, Brandy Nelson. Mac, y'all continue to keep her family in prayer. They're still mourning the passing of her mother 3 or 4 months ago, and her father just recently. So y'all keep Brandy in your thoughts and sincere prayers. Back with David Grubb, host of Hard in the Paint on the legendary KYOK with your boy, AJ, on Media Monday. And, man, we were just talking offline about your article that you're about to write about the new general manager of the New Orleans Pelicans. And what's interesting, everything you were saying about him is just exact parallels to Bill O'Brien. I mean, exact parallels, because, what he accomplished in New England, he had TB12 in his prime. I mean, he wasn't doing anything special. He was just keeping the car on the road. What he did at Penn State was nothing to write home about. And not only that, they made him a first-time head coach in the NFL. They made him a general manager. And oh, yeah, by the way, the dude is running some front office stuff that he shouldn't even know about. And they're giving this dude all this credit for what? AFC South championships? Okay, all right.
And an 0-2 start?
Yeah, that shows you ain't ready for the big time yet. And, he said the same old thing. Got to coach better, got to play better, got to get ready better, and we got to do it quickly. Yeah, you got to go to Pittsburgh where you're probably about to get your brains beat out of you again, because that defense is the best defense you've seen this year. So
when coaches say stuff like that, when they say we got to coach better and we got to do this better, what does that mean? What does that mean? Because the level that you're supposed to be at, you should know already. You should have your expectations are already there. So what, as a coach, tells you after all this time, now you're just realizing that your coaching is insufficient and you need to coach better?
Yeah.
No, your coaching was clearly you were mistaken from jump. You need to coach because that's where you need to go. Stop saying better. My players need to play better. No, you need to play well. Yeah. You need to play well. You have not played well. There is no better, because you can be better and still be bad.
Right.
I get a 50 on my test and the next week get a 60. I still flunked.
But I did better.
And that's, by percentage wise, I improved by 20%. So you could say I was a roaring success. You still flunked.
Yeah, David, translation is you all are beneath me. I don't want to answer your questions. I have to answer them. So this is all I've got for you. And to me, I barely tolerate that from a Bill Belichick, because, you do your job as a head coach. Our job as the media is to ask questions, whether you like it or not. So, don't think you're above me and that you're doing me a favor to answer my questions. It's the same thing with Bill O'Brien. You haven't earned that, and you don't deserve that. And the fact that you do it makes me want to come for you even harder. And oh yeah, by the way, you put this mess together. And everybody that you got rid of are on teams that are undefeated right now. Your trash is 0-2. This is your mess. This ain't it. You don't have George Godsey to blame. You don't have Brock Osweiler to blame. You don't have Rick Smith to blame. You don't have Brian Gaine to blame. You don't even have your former defensive coordinator, who should have probably been the head coach, Romeo Crennel, to blame. This is you. It's all your DNA.
It's on him, or even, you look at everything, like you said, Tyrann Mathieu doing well over in Kansas City.
Oh, no.
Hopkins doing his thing in Arizona.
Most catches by an NFL player in the first 2 weeks.
So,
and 2-0.
That couldn't have helped Deshaun Watson to have a legitimate target to throw to in these games where your offense looks like hot garbage. And what happened to people like David Johnson?
Baby. David Johnson, 11 carries, 30-something yards. And all I heard last week was, hey, AJ, it was a bright spot, Hall of Fame performance. Guess what? He didn't last long in the Hall of Fame.
John the Baptist wasn't washed any better than your boy right now, David Johnson. David Johnson is washed. John the Baptist didn't get washed like that. You know what I'm saying?
You are hilarious. You know what? It was a hilarious reaction when he said, John the David, stop. Stop it.
What?
Listen, David Johnson is the second coming of gas or hemorrhoids or the runs. I don't know.
You know what David Thompson is like? The last year I saw Earl Campbell when he played for Saints. And were you still in town that year?
I was.
And he was wearing number 35, looking just raw in that black and gold. And I saw Earl Campbell stumble and fall, and I remember his last game vividly. That was a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
David Johnson had one good year. And in those years since, precipitous fall. So it's embarrassing to watch them send that dude out while Adrian Peterson is out there running his behind off at almost 35 years old for the Detroit Lions. And you don't even go look for talented running backs out there in the pool of running backs that are sitting out there waiting for jobs still. And this is what you do. You traded for this dude and that money? Nah. No.
And that's why, again, Texan fans cannot tell me what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do. I'm not allowed to compare DeAndre Hopkins' career to David Johnson because they don't play the same position. Yeah, I can.
I'm talking about, because you're talking about impact on the team. It's not about position. It's does that person make your team better?
Yes,
David Johnson doesn't.
Yes, sir. And when I look at what Brandon Cooks did, 5 catches, 95 yards, he did not get in the end zone. He did not help them pick up a first down when they needed it on 4th down. He did not help them get in position to win a game that they needed to win to prove to people that they were, and themselves, that they were on the level of the superior teams in the league. They're not there. It's just plain and simple. They're not there. And none of these changes, when I look, okay, you got 5 catches, 95 yards for Cooks. Cobb, 5 for 59. I'm sorry. Kenny Stills, 2 for 16. Where was Will Fuller? I'm still looking. Let me read these names. Cooks, Cobb, Akins, Fells, Johnson, Stills, Kuti, Team. Where's Will Fuller? They told us he was going to do something special this year.
And you're not running plays that help Deshaun to extend drives. If you can't run the ball, and they can't run the ball. So if you can't run the ball, you got to run a lot of 4 receiver sets or a lot of 12 formations where you put 2 tight ends there to protect Deshaun, give him some max protect, let the back slide out of the backfield, use 1 tight end to release after the block is set, and hope your wide receivers can win some one-on-one matchups in the 12 personnel. Otherwise, you are stuck with a lot of guys who are not underneath direction changes. They are long runners. They are 4 down, 1 and 2 runners. And you got to All your guys are long runners. They're not double move guys. They are not slant guys. Brandon Cooks runs 3 routes: the 9, the go, and the post. I mean, the 9 is the go. The 9, the post, and the slant. That's it. Brandon Cooks don't run nothing else.
That's it.
So if you only have 3 options in your tree, and same with Will Fuller, who is a very good, but all these guys are 2 and 3 receivers. Not one of them is a 1. And if you don't have a WR1 that you can count on 3rd and 7, and you got to get it.
And that's why I've got a problem with David Grubb joining us here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, host of Hard in the Paint. That's why I have a problem with fans starting to quip what Bill O'Brien put out there in the atmosphere, that Deshaun is holding the ball too long. It was one thing when Deshaun was quote unquote holding the ball too long and he had his go-to guy who could run all those routes and bail the team out. It's another thing when he's holding the ball too long and he's got nobody who's creating separation on the short routes, on the intermediate routes, and you cannot throw every go route when they can't give you more than 3 seconds. So he is making plays, he is extending plays, and he is making what we know to be, it's not what we think to be, what we know to be a bad offensive scheme. He is making it out to be something that looks like it was worth something. And people have the nerve to be blaming Deshaun for this. I don't want Deshaun to get hurt, but I want him to see A.J. McCarron running this offense. I really do. Let him, baby, you want A.J. McCarron with Bill O'Brien and Kelly so bad? Go for it. Go for it. Let Deshaun go. Let him go. Just, I hate him. Signed him. Let him go. Let him go.
If y'all don't want him, there's a lot of teams out there that'll take him. There's a lot of teams who would take a Deshaun Watson right now off your hands for the low price of $40 million. Now, what I don't get is you're absolutely right. When people take holding onto the ball and you don't put it in context.
Right.
And this is what we do with numbers all the time. We'll look at the number of seconds it takes for that release. And you say, well, it's slightly higher than the league average. Why? If you don't ask the follow-up of why and say, well, let's look at the line. Is the line protecting? Are they protecting on his blind side? Does he feel pressure? Are the receivers getting separation? As you said, all those things are factors. Are the play calls appropriate for the down and distance that you're facing? All those things have to be analyzed before you dump it on the shoulders of one person.
Are guys running the right route? Are they where they're supposed to be? Did they get separation? Again, backside. What are they doing back there? Front side. Am I having to adjust my position because somebody slipped the block up the middle or off the edge or somewhere like that? All of those things matter. And again, Bill O'Brien knew what he was doing when he dropped the little phrase out there. Well, some of that's on Deshaun. Deshaun's holding the ball a little bit too long. And every little quipper has decided, oh, Deshaun's holding the ball too long. Deshaun, you don't even know what that means.
And why would you do that in week 2 for the guy that you just signed to this extension and you took away his weapon? He knows that. He knows that. So you're going to come out. See, it's different with the Tom Brady and Bruce Arians thing, because I think what Bruce Arians was doing what a lot of coaches do.
Absolutely.
I'm taking down Tom so that everybody knows I can take down any one of you. I'm setting the tone. I know Tom can take it. Cool.
Yeah, not going to hold him to a different standard. Hey, stay right there. Let's get a quick break. We'll be right back with more of David Grubb, host of Hard in the Paint. It's Media Monday. Got to get into that NBA game with the Lakers and Denver. We'll do all that next when we come back on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
Is a great time to replace your worn-out windows during the Renewal by Andersen 25-year savings event. Upgrade your home today. Buy 4 windows and get the 5th one free. Plus, get 12 months with no interest, no money down, and no payments. Call now. Get 4 windows and get the 5th one free.
You can see that by week 2, the NFL has completely decided to abandon any thought that they give a damn about racial justice.
For 25 years,
It said that stuff ended so fast. So fast. And I'm kind of upset with Kurt Menefee and James Brown because they have just gone right back into it, and they're denying their own people, and that stuff bothers me, man.
I saw your post on that, man, and I was right there with you. I was right there with you, and this is about what we expected. About what we expected.
waived if paid in full.
About what we
12 months.
expected.
Other conditions apply.
And I just don't like that the black folks participate to just like, hey, it's football and we're happy and everything's great. No, bro. No, you're doing us a disservice with that.
You don't know me and we'll
And
never.
people gonna hold you accountable at the end of the day. I'm gonna remember all of them.
Man, let me tell you, before you came on, I called out Randy White about Danny White, I'm sorry, about comments that he made about CeeDee Lamb. It's like, that's that racial bias stuff. That's that stuff that you're an old white guy trying to do commentary on a young black player that you have no idea how they play the game. And I'm sorry, I'm not tolerating that anymore. And I've been getting eaten alive. He's a Hall of Famer. No, he isn't. Number one.
Danny White ain't no Hall of Famer.
Number one.
What did Danny White ever win? He never won anything.
Any worse, get clean. Call now.
He made it to 2 NFC championship games and lost.
I was a Cowboy fan back then. I know how many times he broke my heart.
961.
He was good enough to be okay.
800
He was a backup who got the start.
Back. Hold on real quick.
Hey, you want some sports with your lunch? Well, tune in to the legendary KYOK at the lunch break. And I'm Raven Rogers.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, along with David Grubb, host of Hard in the Paint, on our Media Monday. And, David, we were talking about the Texans and Bill O'Brien before the break. Well, let's move off of them. I mean, there's nothing more that we can bury them with. Again, either they'll pull it together and go up to Pittsburgh and do something special, or they'll be 0-2, 0-3, and that's what I expect. Now, the team that they got a couple of weeks from now, Minnesota, man, Kirk Cousins needs to just close his mouth. If anybody should just shut up and play or shut up and dribble, it's Kirk Cousins, because there are high schoolers that would have played better at the quarterback spot than he played on yesterday. And it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. And the Texans got them a couple of weeks from now. That might be their lone shot for a win.
Yeah, in the first month, sure. Because, Kirk Cousins, it just all while the highlights and just some of what I watched, because it wasn't the game here. So when you watch it, you're like, Jay Gruden's words just keep echoing in your head that Kirk Cousins requires a perfect pocket in order to throw the ball. He requires an open window in order to throw the ball. And with the talent that they have at receiver, the Vikings have way too much offensive talent. Adam Thielen is one of the best receivers in the league. They've got tight end. You got Dalvin Cook behind him. There's no excuse for what Minnesota did, and it's all at the feet of Kirk Cousins. And I think you also got to talk to Mike Zimmer, because they put their faith in this guy, and he has still never shown you. Has Kirk Cousins done any better than the quarterbacks that preceded him at Minnesota? No, he hasn't. He still only got one playoff win, and they had that with Case Keenum.
Right. 11 for 26, 113 yards, average 4.3 yards as a quarterback, and 0 for 3. I'm talking about no touchdowns and 3 interceptions, bro. Like, your quarterback rating is a negative. Like, you
That's
really
a Peterman. That's a Peterman.
That's a Peterman. That's a Nathan Peterman. And this is the guy that's running around making comments about masks and corona and your dad's a quack and all this other stuff. Dude, no, you need to focus on your LeVar Ball said it, stay in your lane, bro. Stay in your lane. You need to get that quarterback lane together before you do anything else. So let's switch gears, man. Let's jump over to the NBA playoffs. Yesterday, bruh, you take it from me. I'll backdoor it, but it was a great game. It was a great game.
It was an absolutely great game, and I'll say this: that was the best game of Anthony Davis' playoff career. It was the best game of his playoff career until this series. And I thought that he had been rather pedestrian in the first 2 rounds. He was doing things that we knew he could do, but he was not leaving what I would say is an indelible mark on either one of those series. He was just better than the people who were guarding. In this series, it seems as if, at the very least, because LeBron has not played great.
Oh, yeah.
But AD has been consistent. He didn't shoot the ball great yesterday. He didn't shoot it great.
Right.
But he was aggressive in the amount of shots that he took. To take the 23 shots was more aggressive than we've seen him at times. And then a lot of New Orleans Pelicans fans are talking about this today. We've watched him miss that shot. many times. That last second three, we watched him miss that shot over and over again. And honestly, I'm not mad that he made it. I'm not. I mean, I don't wish ill on people. I'm not the biggest Anthony Davis fan in the world, and I wasn't before the whole trade thing came down. But I'm not mad at a guy for maybe having his moment. Maybe this is the moment that kicks Anthony Davis into gear and makes him mature and decide that he wants to be legitimately one of the top 3 players in the league. Because he's not.
Yeah.
Anybody want to say that right now, you're lying. You're lying if you say that he's top 3. But I would say this is the chance to make that step. I will also say this. That's one of the few times where Mike Malone messed up the last couple of possessions. Denver did not defend those well. They did not communicate on their rotations in order to allow Davis the time to catch and shoot, particularly on that last play. So I think that was the first time for Mike Malone, because that was a game they had to steal. They had to steal game 2.
Right.
So now it's just beating the Lakers 4 out of 5 times. Yes, Denver's done this twice already in the playoffs, being down 3-1. But this is LeBron James and Anthony Davis and the Lakers. They are not going to be scared in this moment. I don't think the Clippers were, but I think the Clippers crumbled. I don't think LeBron is going to crumble. So it's going to be on Denver to keep coming after the Lakers. They cannot back down from them after this loss, no matter how bad it hurt. You cannot back down because you met them. You met them emotionally in game 2. We talked about game 1 was going to be tough because of the fatigue. Well, now they got their legs back under for game 2, and they see that they can compete for 47 minutes and 58 seconds. The Lakers didn't have a lead till that shot. Right. I mean, you win that game at that shot. So, yeah, I think Denver's still in good position. They're in better position than Boston, I think.
Yeah. I got to tell you, LeBron is not going to let them collapse. LeBron, he might not be the one to go off points wise and rebound wise and assist wise. He'll make the plays. Now, Jimmy Butlerish, and I know some folks think that I'm wrong for comparing LeBron to Jimmy Butler, but when you look at the things that Jimmy Butler does that don't always make the stat line, and it gets his team in a position to have good results as a result of his defense or as a result of hustle out of bounds or a block or something like that. That's what LeBron is today. And you got to give credit to Anthony Davis for getting in a position to take the shot, took the shot, and he wasn't right at the 3-point line, about a foot and a half behind it, and knock it down. And you know what? We'll take that every day of the week. But I gotta give a lot of love to Dwight Howard, the way he is playing against probably the best big in the game right now. And he's in his head. He might not be beating him on the stat line, but he is making that dude think about where's Dwight, what's he gonna do? I gotta beat Dwight instead of I gotta score this bucket or get this rebound or what. It has become a 2-man game. And then Rajon Rondo, man, I'm telling you, he just brings something different to the Lakers lineup right now that he might not have done it in the regular season, but right now the little things that he does is just enough to keep the Lakers in contention where the Anthony Davises and the LeBron Jameses and some of those other guys can hit big shots to get the win.
Yeah, the things that Rondo does are the things that the Lakers can't do on their own without him. He's still not a great defender at this stage. He's just not. He doesn't have the same lateral quickness. He doesn't, but he is still smarter than most defenders. So he is able to communicate with his teammates on a very good defensive team. The Lakers are a very good defensive team.
Yeah.
And what Rondo does that the other Lakers don't do is he probes. Mm-hmm. He can drive without purpose. Mm-hmm. And a lot of NBA players don't understand that. There are very few guards who are willing to do that. Steve Nash was one of those people. Rondo is one of those people where you just drive and you try to see if the defense is going to come and follow you. Are you going where I'm going? Because it may not be the right angle. Look, he'll drive to the baseline just to make somebody collapse and then be like, okay, drop it, pocket pass, layup. Mm-hmm. That's what, and if it's not there, Rondo's not going to shoot the layup if he doesn't have it, but he'll pull it right back out and start it again. Yep. And that is something that in the playoffs, if you don't have guys who can get in the lane, who can get the defense shifted, you can't win ball games. And right now, that's where Denver is kind of struggling in getting the Lakers to move enough and create those other opportunities for the other players, and then loosen it up for your two main guys in Murray and Jokic.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think happens in game 3? Because that's what's coming up next. I was looking tonight thinking Miami and Boston were going to play, but they've pushed Miami and Boston back to what, Wednesday, Thursday, something crazy.
Yeah, because I guess they're trying to get them caught back up in time so that the finals are not a big gap between whoever closes out this series and does it. So I still think I'm not counting Denver out. I'm just not going to do it. They're too smart. They're too talented. And again, they played the Lakers well all season. This is a game you lose by one shot. It's something that either it goes in or it doesn't. If it doesn't, you're ecstatic. If you do, you're sad. So I think that they'll compete really hard in game 3. I think Mike Malone will continue to make adjustments. Do I think that they'll win the series at this point? Probably not. I mean, no, probably not. I'd have to say the Lakers probably now have probably a 75-80% chance of winning this series. But I'm not gonna write Denver off. I just won't do it because we've seen too much from them this year, not just in these playoffs, but this year. Every time we thought they were done, they figured it out and gotten something together.
Denver is another one of those teams with young players coming up to go along with some, great players that they got now. They're going to be scary, man. They are going to be scary. And that's why I say teams like the Rockets, San Antonio, Philly, teams like that, they got to figure it out. They got to figure it out, because if they don't, there's going to be a major shift in power coming on. Yeah.
Very soon. NBA is, you're going to see these young teams, because remember, the Celtics still have 9 guys in their 3rd year or under.
Right.
That's insane. You don't build teams like that and get to the conference finals. Tell me the last time you saw a team that young in a conference final. That just doesn't happen. So
I got to go all the way back to Oklahoma City when they had Russ and Durant.
Did they have 9 guys under that age?
9 guys. No, that's what I'm saying. Close to that. That's where I got to go. Yeah.
9 guys 30 and under, and here you are in the conference finals. So yeah, you look at a team like Boston, even with Toronto, outside of Kyle Lowry and Marc Gasol, who are the guys that you're talking about at the end of their careers? Getting too close to the end. And even Lowry may still have 2 or 3 years left in the way he's playing.
Yeah.
So, Toronto's relatively young. The Denver's young. Utah's relatively young. There's a lot of, Dallas, New Orleans, Memphis, all the teams. Portland could get better in this offseason if they make a major move. Sacramento is still very young. Phoenix, very young, but with talent. The West is going to get real hard real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's already hard.
Yeah, absolutely. So that being said, Boston and Miami, game 4. What do you expect there?
Miami win. I think it'll be another tight game, but what you're starting to see, where Miami is physically, it's just too much. It's too much. Mm-hmm. And the one game that Boston has won in this series when they won the rebounding battle. So that's a hard thing to do against Miami. I just think that Miami's going to continue to try to force Boston to be a jump shooting team. And if you can do that, you'll win the game. Boston has to get to the rim. Smart's got to finish at the rim. Jaylen Brown's got to get to the rim. Jason Tatum has to get to the rim and create some fouls for Miami to get that depth short. You have to get into Miami's bench and make them play guys when they don't want to. So if Boston isn't aggressive in that, I just think Miami people forget. Goran Dragic is the leading scorer for the Miami Heat.
Right.
Not Jimmy Butler, not Bam Adebayo.
Right.
So when we talk about that depth, Miami has it, and Boston has to get into it.
Yeah, that kid Hero ain't bad either. I thought he shot him out of it.
Duncan Robinson? Oh, my God.
Yeah. Valencia King said, Dallas, eyeballs, LOL, hashtag let us pray. So Todd Malcolm said, long-term, the Nuggets won't be able to keep all those guys together long-term. Michael Porter Jr. will get max money when he comes off this rookie deal. Michael Porter Jr. is one of those guys where I feel like a team like a Portland or a team that needs a different shot of something, might make a deal and try and get him before he gets into that max deal category.
The thing with Michael Porter Jr. is twofold. One, you got to see if he's going to mature and start playing some defense. The talent is there. We know his ceiling is incredibly high.
Right.
But is he going to mature and start playing some defense and get? You can see it. This stage, his eyes get wide, even when he's scoring, and you can see how this is not new. This is not normal for him.
Right.
The other thing you worry about is anybody who comes off a back injury at that age. I am always leery of their long-term prospects.
Yeah.
6'10" guy with a bad back.
Yeah.
I really want to see what Denver has to decide to do. Jokic is already under contract. They can feel real good about him. Murray is going to be under a good deal. Millsap's about to come off the book. People forget that. Millsap is going to come off the books, and that's a lot of money wrapped up in him. The main core, if they can keep, Michael Porter Jr., if you can keep on the wings and have that, now I forget his name, the forward on the wings, Grant, Jeremy Grant. If you can keep him, they still have a starting five that's as potent. People Will Barton and maybe one of those backups. Yeah, you're going to rotate on the back end. All teams do.
Yeah.
All teams do. You're going to rotate the back end. But if you keep your top 4 or 5 together, that's the main thing, because you've got roughly 4 years for any team. Has got about a 4 or 5 year window as a group to win a championship. And then outside of that, unless you do that, and even LeBron James didn't go 4 and 5 years except for Miami.
Yeah.
4 years straight, you're a real legitimate championship team, but nobody's done it for more than that. Even the Warriors couldn't do it 6 years.
True.
They won 3 titles in 5 years and they're done.
Right.
It'll be a completely different team when they take the court.
Right. You're absolutely right. David, we got to take another break. When we come back, let's jump back over to the football side on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. Good stuff whenever we got David Grubb, host of Hard in the Paint, joining us here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. We'll be right back right after this.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
I'm going to tell you how you can get real health insurance for as little as $6 a day. Yes, now you can get affordable health insurance for you and your family immediately, starting at just $6 a day. And coverage is guaranteed regardless of your medical condition. That's right, for about $6 a day, you can have guaranteed health insurance. And there's dental, vision, and prescription coverage too. You owe it to yourself and your family to make this free call right now and learn more. There are no deductibles, no waiting period, no contracts, and coverage is guaranteed. Call National Health right now for your risk-free guaranteed health insurance quote starting at just $6 a day. Call now.
800-797-0921. 800-797-0921. 800-797-0921. That's 800-797-0921. Paid for by GoHealth.
You're home. You're a diabetic. You need supplies, but you don't want to visit the pharmacy. What do? Call US Med for home delivery of your supplies. If you have diabetes and you're worried about going to a crowded pharmacy, pick up the phone in the safety and comfort of your home and let US Med deliver them to you with free shipping. And now if you test your blood sugar 4 more times a day and inject insulin 3 or more times a day, you may qualify to get a new continuous glucose monitor at little or no cost, which may eliminate the pain of pricking your fingers and helps you make smarter diabetes decisions. Plus, we'll send you a 90-day supply and bill your insurance company for you. Get some peace of mind. Call US Med today.
800-417-0851. 800-417-0851. That's 800-417-0851.
This is Jasmine Highsmith, and you're having a bout of sports with your lunch here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Man, Jasmine Highsmith getting married, and I was trying to be the Rebby Rev, but she already got somebody lined up. So I told her, you just better make sure I'm in the house. So I'm walking down center aisle like your drunk Uncle Willie. Jasmine! So she said I could come.
Yeah, you can't be embarrassed at people's weddings. You know.
Hey,
I walk in the wrong spot. Somebody gonna remove you from the facility.
Bro, I'm like the J.J. Watt of weddings, man. I like the attention. I like the attention.
I thought you were about to say you was the J.J. Evans of weddings, and you was going to end somebody's career by taking a picture in the middle of the aisle and kill.
No, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that.
Which makes no sense. Quick aside, makes no sense that Keith was drafted by the Chicago Bears, injures his knee on the day of his wedding, and the best job he can get is as a taxi driver. That tells you right there. That tells you right there something was wrong with his education. They did not get that man the proper education. Said he graduated from some college, eligible to get drafted, and all you get is a job as a taxi driver, part-time in Chicago. That was terrible.
Man, parents, make sure your kids get educated when they go to these schools, promising to let them play. That's all I got to say.
That's sports related. See, that's sports related.
That's sports related. That's sports related. Real quick, a couple of players going to be out for a considerable amount of time. Saquon Barkley going to be out for the season now. Earlier it was going to be several weeks, but now they're saying
ACL, right?
Yeah, with a torn ACL, and Christian McCaffrey going to miss multiple weeks. And then J.J. Watt is getting the backlash from former veteran players after calling out Ross Blacklock for getting ejected late in the game, saying that it was a stupid play, it was selfish, it was that. They're not questioning his comments. They're questioning where he made the comments. If you are a leader on that team, then you handle that stuff in the locker room, and you don't let yourself get goaded into crushing a young player. Dave, what are your thoughts on that? Because J.J. Watt is one of those guys where he's never met a camera or a social media post that he did not like. When he posted on the night that Kobe Bryant was ending a 20-year career, the way Kobe went out, some of y'all are at the game, but I'm in the gym. I was like, bro, you don't even get what you don't get. It ain't about
you. Yeah, it's about you.
Right. So, how do you feel about J.J. Watt's comments? Should he have made it privately? Should he have not said it in the media? What do you think?
Those are coach comments. That's their job to make those comments. Like you said, players usually keep those things internally because you got to work with these people. These are your equals. And if you're going to show leadership, at the very least, you don't use that terminology. You can say that's a young player learning his way, made a mistake. We're going to talk to him about it. We're going to get his head right because we think he can contribute to this team. That's PR number 101.
Right.
That's one. I can do that right off the top of my head. Yep. J.J. Watt's been around long enough that he understands the game. He understands what the media is looking for. And after an 0-2 start, the first thing you're going to do is start tearing down one of your teammates. Man, this is the time you're supposed to be talking your guys up and say, we're not down. Two games. Yeah, it's a slow start, but we're going to get this defense together. He's going to contribute. We're going to make plays. And by the end of this season, we'll be a much better team than the team you're looking at today. And he's going to be a vital part of that. Boom, sit down, be done. Walk to the locker room then and say, hey, that's not how we do things around here.
Right.
Get yourself, go look at that film. Look at yourself and see if you're proud of the way you handled yourself. Come back here on on Monday when we watch film and be ready to do your job. Right. You do those things. You don't break a guy down. Right. You don't embarrass him publicly because now he's got to hear about that from everybody.
Yeah.
So, what does that do positively? The outcome is always the thing that we should talk about for our actions. So what was the desired outcome there?
Right. Yeah, let me look down at J.J. Watt's stat line real quick. I'm still scrolling.
You can look down at it, yeah. Look down.
Tackles. He did have a couple of sacks, but guess what? When it counted, where were you, bro? When it was 4th and 1, and they're in the Wildcat, and Mark Ingram takes a direct snap, where were you? A lot of folks still on this. J.J. Watt has this motor that never stops. No, he doesn't. There were plenty of times when guys missed tackles and, guys broke free downfield. J.J. Watt, number 99, wasn't chasing them downfield. So, again, we're not going to give just grace to guys because of their name or because of previous accomplishments. J.J. Watt's got to learn, too. Being a leader is not answering every question that's posed of you in the media. That's not always good leadership. Let's get off this for a minute because they ain't nothing to talk about. The teams after 2 weeks that surprise you, that just come to mind. Don't look at anything, but that just come to mind that are surprising. Who are they for you?
You start with Arizona.
Okay.
You start with Arizona because they got 2 quality wins to start the season. Like I said, DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray act like they've been playing together for 10 years.
Man.
And They're not turning the ball over. They're scoring points. The defense has been better than I thought it would be. And they're in first place, tied with Seattle in that division. So yeah, that was surprising to me. Certainly, it's surprising, but it's not that Atlanta's 0-0.
Yeah.
Because Atlanta knows how to screw things up, and they did that 2 weeks in a row. But they should be better than that.
Yeah.
You saw it. I mean, nobody puts up 39 on the road and loses. Not when you had no turnovers.
Right.
Not when you just make the stupidest decision maybe in the history of your team when you decide to watch the ball roll for 10 yards and no one falls on it. It wasn't like it was bouncing.
Right.
It's rolling. All you have to do is fall on it and let gravity do its work.
You had Falcons boxing each other out.
Yeah, they turn in there like, don't touch. Yeah, like it was making out of poison.
Bruh, I never played on the NFL level, but I've been on the hands team. And I'm telling rule number one, when it does not have to go 10 yards.
You touch it immediately. They can't touch it.
And cover it up and the other guys cover you up. So, man, I'm sorry. I got no love for the Falcons being 0-2. That was a game they should have won. I picked them to win it. They had it, and they just said, here you go. We don't want it. We don't want it. Take it.
Now, the other one, the last one, Green Bay.
You go ahead.
The last one is Green Bay. Because for them to put up 40 points in back-to-back weeks and to get yards out of people besides their stars, they look really good. And I did not expect that out of Green Bay after the way the summer went. With Rodgers and the management and the fact they didn't add anybody of note. And they are surprised right now.
And that's what I was going to say. All offseason long, all we heard about didn't give Rodgers any weapons, didn't do this, and they jumped all on Jordan Love and didn't do that. And all they've done is blown out everybody that stepped on the field with them. And Aaron Rodgers ain't looking bad. And Jones, man, I mean, if I'm supposed to be happy about David Johnson, 11 carries, 77 yards, what should I think about Aaron Jones?
That the Packers are very dangerous to do.
Yeah.
The Packers are they're going to run away with that division. I mean, the Bears look better, but do you have enough faith in Mitchell Trubisky to beat Aaron Rodgers twice to win that division? I don't, because I don't think the Packers are going to lose to the Lions. They certainly ain't going to lose to the Vikings. So the Bears at best are hoping for a split. That means Green Bay goes 5-1 in the division. They won it. You could already chalk that up for Green Bay as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. They're done. They won it. Unless something major happens.
Yeah, jump on the negative side. Which team negatively is a surprise?
Oh, well, negatively a surprise. Miami has been worse than I thought they would be.
Really?
I thought that Brian Flores would take a step. I mean, we didn't have any faith in Fitzpatrick as the starter. But I'm surprised that they have just not looked good. I mean, there's no dynamic element to them. There's nothing exciting about Miami. I thought they would be better this year. Chicago's a little bit of a surprise that they're 2-0. I mean, that's a bit of a surprise for me. But on the negative side, Philly too.
That's how I was going. The biggest negative surprise for me is Philadelphia. Like, what's up with Carson Wentz? Is he hurt? We don't know about it because as a franchise quarterback, the guy who's supposed to lead and work with what he got, I don't see it. I don't see it. And
Peter, dude who's a franchise quarterback got benched twice. And the other guy took the team to the Super Bowl. And that guy is behind Mitchell Trubisky today. That says a lot to me.
Yeah, Philly is. I can't even explain that one. I can't explain Philly. I can't.
Peterson's gonna get fired. I mean, it's Peterson's gonna get fired because you can't keep being 9-7 in Philly and doing these things. Can't do it. I think he gets fired either during. It's like if they keep going this way, he's gonna get fired during the season. But that money that they gave Wentz is looking really bad.
It really is. It really is. And that being said, we got to get ready to go. First coach to get fired this offseason. First 3 coaches to get fired during this season, possibly.
Ooh, Matt Patricia in Detroit. He's on his way to getting fired.
Okay.
Certainly in Atlanta, Dan Quinn is on his way to getting fired. He might. I don't know if Dan Quinn is gonna make it through this week. He might not get it. I mean, if there's a bye week, I don't know what Atlanta's bye week is, but he might not make it to the bye week. And then last, I mean, this year.
Who's that dude in New York? Who's that dude in New York with the Jets?
They ain't go. Ooh, Adam Gase. Yeah. Ooh, Adam Gase. That team is terrible. Who keeps trying to act like Sam Darnold can play football?
You know what's crazy to me is I had Adam Gase going first, but after seeing Quinn and after seeing Matt Patricia, I don't know. Either one of those 3 are subject to go first this season while it's still going on.
Quinn, come on. You were up 19 on the Cowboys on the road. Ain't no fans in the building, and your defense can't get a stop, and then your special teams makes stupidest play. Bro. I mean, like the Lions, Patricia's just alienated the entire team. Nobody wants to play for him.
That team is bought out on Matt Patricia. Lost the locker room. That has happened.
He lost them a year and a half ago. They haven't liked him since he got there.
But they've got a former New England GM, so he's going to get more time, which is ridiculous because they really need to let them both go. Because you can't keep that same mentality. A little bit of yeast will mess everything up. If you have one fly that flies in your gumbo, you got to throw the whole pot out. You can't just scoop that fly out and eat the rest. So, man, I got to tell you, I hate to do it. We run out of minutes. We like Texas A&M. They never lost the game. They just ran out of time. Tell everybody what's coming up on the podcast, man.
It's like today we're going to be doing some analysis of the weekend and some of the big stories there. We're going to start moving into college football tomorrow. And, of course, we have the Saints tonight, so we'll be talking about them tomorrow as well. And a lot of NBA coming on Thursday. So it's going to be a good week. And, again, today I'm going to be posting some more images of the stuff in the store. There's some really cool stuff there. And please help just continue to support what I'm trying to do out here.
You know we're going to do that. And then go ahead and brag a little bit. I told Valencia that we need her in the broadcast journalist keeping up with the Joneses. David Grubb, I think, has lost how many games this weekend? How many you got lost so far, David?
One. Just the one. So as of now, I'm 13-1. And even if you want to chalk the Thursday night game up as an L, I'll take it. Because I'm about to ride into 14-2 this week, and I'll give my $50.
Listen. I want we're gonna do just for you, me, Kelsey. We're gonna get Valencia in there. I'm gonna call Vashti Hurt, see if we can get her in. Check with what's her name? Hernandez. What's her name?
Erica Fernandez.
Check with Erica, see if she wants to do it, and let's set up a group because I want to see how we do against each other.
All right. If y'all, who wants to be second? I'm Larry Bird right now. Who's playing for second?
Get off my screen, man. Host of Hard in the Paint. He got bragging rights right now. We'll see how it goes after tonight's game. Somebody might make a comeback. So
you already lost 4. You out.
Don't be telling my record. Anyway, David, thanks again as always, brother. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Yes, sir. Y'all be good now.
All right, y'all. David Grubb, host of Hard in the Paint. We got to get ready to go. Let me get what's her name? Sybil Wilkes on with the coronavirus update. After that, it'll be Donnie McClurkin. Tomorrow we'll be back. Lord say the same with Media Monday. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There's nothing you can do about it except wash your hands, wear your mask. Also, give people their 6 feet. And when you see that racism, kill it. Not the person. The racism. And man, we got to put an end to it because this unbiased stuff and subconscious stuff, man, it's still racism. So we'll talk to y'all later. Here's Sybil Wilkes on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, and the all new 92.3 FM.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know today about the coronavirus. In another reversal, the CDC has changed its guidance on who should be tested for the coronavirus, encouraging asymptomatic people who have come in contact with an infected person to get tested and self-quarantine for 14 days. Last month, guidance said those who did not experience symptoms should not be tested. According to a report by the New York Times, the guidance posted on the CDC website last month was without approval from scientists at the CDC. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
All right, y'all. Man, really had fun today. Y'all a lot of fun. I want to thank my callers that called in. Todd, Keith, Cowboy, man, I don't forgot my Cowboy's name. Forgive me, man. Forgive me. I'm just drawing a blank. But great stuff. Keith Hennick, appreciate y'all as always. Again, I'm overwhelmed. Y'all have no idea how much y'all mean to me and how much I appreciate y'all's support of the show. Again, we're going to have special guests joining us tomorrow, so y'all tune back in for that. Texan fans, don't give up hope. Cowboy fans, enjoy your big victory. Now, it gets harder next week. And then, man, I can't wait till the NBA action comes back on. Won't be tonight. It'll be tomorrow night when the Lakers and Denver get back together again. So until then, y'all know the deal. Not this, definitely this. I love y'all, and nothing you can do about it. Y'all have a great rest